Hey, if you're enjoying the content here at Dennis Sperling Unfiltered, make sure you support it by sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And also, hit that little notification bell in the corner so that you'll get notice of each and every one of our live feeds.
I've been around the world. I've seen a lot of beautiful women. Started off in the streets of LA, and I took you through a journey through my life. And now here I am, sitting on top of this mountain, the Coffee King.
Hey, if you're enjoying the content here at Dennis Sperling Unfiltered, make sure you support it by sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And also, hit that little notification bell in the corner so that you'll get notice of each and every one of our live feeds. What's up, you guys? This is Dennis Sperling, and I'm back again with part 2 of Black Men Traveling, Protecting Your Foreign Woman from American Culture. So I predicted in the next 10 or 15 years, there's probably going to be, there's going to be a significant uptick in Black men marrying women from different countries, different cultures, either going and bringing them here or wait until once they arrive, wiping them up. The racial loyalty notion that bound most of the generations, including mine, is part of the social contract that has been violated. And so because of that, men, or Black men specifically, are no longer bound to that social contract. So last night we talked about Black men traveling, protecting your foreign woman from American culture, i.e. this toxic American culture that, you guys have experienced more than me, because basically you're out there dating and I'm pretty much not. And when I date overseas, or I date women from other cultures, even if they are here. Nevertheless, last night we talked about screening the ladies. So now let's set this up. You've already screened the woman. You got a woman you like. Here's the thing, you guys. I'm not against marriage. I'm against the financial incentive involved in getting a divorce. What I don't want you guys to do is get hammered in family law court. And that's why I put a broadcast out several weeks ago showing you the different loopholes, i.e. prenuptial agreements, irrevocable trust, corporations, so that you can put your assets in prior to and after marriage. So that I would also include a postnuptial agreement. Nevertheless, so here's where we are. You guys have found a woman you like. I don't know, pick a country, whatever country she's in. You've screened her properly. She doesn't have a record. She's not dependent on, doesn't have whatever it is you like. She's the type of woman you like, blah, 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 got it. Okay, so the first thing you need to do, okay, is establish. Now you have this woman. You haven't brought her here yet, but you're seriously contemplating either making her a serious relationship, which will lead to marriage. So what you want to do is you have to establish what her role will be as a wife. Now, as I told you guys, you got to spend time in these countries so you'll understand the culture, and you want to keep her bound to that culture. You need to spend at least 6 months to a year and visit as often as you possibly can. What you want to do when you get down there is you want to rent a home, either through Airbnb or some other 20th century or some other real estate agent, so you can see how she cooks, whether or not she cleans. Stay there. For your yearly vacation, stay for a couple of weeks if you can. Some of you guys can work overseas. I suggest you go and stay as long as you can. Some of the questions you want to ask yourself about this woman is, does she clean up after she cooks, or does she clean while she cooks? Does she, you want to check out her hygiene. Does she bathe or take showers, and does she do that multiple times per day? That'll tell you a lot about a woman's hygiene. What you want, fellas, and I know this is a basic conversation that many of your fathers should have had with you, but they haven't. But the bottom line is, does she bathe? Is she a clean woman? Because if she keep her body clean, she'll keep your children clean. She'll keep your house clean. Does she wash her hair? Okay, that's another thing that's important, because it's one thing to hop in the shower, hop in the bath and clean up, but does she take the time to wash her hair? That's another thing that she wants to clean. All this relates to sanitate. This relates to her cleanliness. Remember, once you bring this woman over here, you're stuck with her. Matter of fact, you're so stuck with her that she doesn't even have any other relatives in this country you can send her to. She can't go home to her mom's house. She can't get a visa and go get a job. You're going to be stuck with her. So you want to screen this woman carefully, but then also after you've screened her, you found the woman you want to do a further screening, but also see what you get. This is the trial run right after the screening. What else you want to do? You want to know if she exercises on a regular basis. Why? Because the last thing you want to happen is marry one of those Eastern European women, or one of these lovely ladies from South America, and you bring her over here, and the first thing she does is blow up and weigh 40 pounds more than she used to. So exercise is very important, especially if she's going to have to get accustomed to this American diet, which you're bringing her into. What does she cook? Does she cook American food? Does she cook her traditional food? That's the question that you have to see. What does she cook, and can you eat that? Do you have to ask her to do anything? Do you have to ask her to wash your clothes, clean the house, fold? What is you have to take note of these things. How often is she on the phone? How often is she in contact with folks on social media? These are other things that you have to begin to ask yourself. These are things that you should generally ask yourself about anyone, but most of us as Black American men haven't been taught to be this picky. I'm telling you guys, these are points you should consider throughout life, but specifically with any woman, but also with foreign women too. How often does she speak with her family and friends? This will let you know how family oriented she is, because see, that relationship she has with her family and friends, you can actually use that. You can use that to your benefit. As I explained earlier, if you have a woman and you're cool with her mom and you have a relationship with her family members, then you can always call them and let her know when she's, not cooperating, getting out of line, with the culture that she comes from. And they'll remind her, hey, this is where you are, this is where you came from. Now, the other thing you want to ask, did she go places without you? In other words, you're there visiting with your woman in her native country and she's going places without you. Yeah, maybe she'll go home, maybe she won't. But the question is, did she or did she not? Why is she doing that? What business? You told her she was coming in town and she left and she went here and she went there. I'm not talking about going to the grocery store to get stuff for the house, to cook for you or whatever she needs to do to keep the house up. But these are the things you have to ask yourself. How does she conduct herself in public? How do people respond to her in public? These are things you want to ask yourself, and this will help you determine how people see her, what their perception of her status level is in that country. Because although she may just be a foreign woman to you, like she may just be a typical Colombian woman to you, but those people in the higher social statuses in different restaurants, they will treat her according to their perception of what her social status is, and then you can make a mental note of that. What do I mean by social status? Here in the United States, depending on how a person dresses, depending on how they speak, depending on how they carry themselves, people in different places will basically give them a grade, social status. If you're a person who chops your words up when you speak, your mumble mouth, a person who doesn't speak English may not know that, but a person who does speak English will be able to basically put you in a certain category, and then other people will be able to tell what your social status is based on that. You guys, let's say Colombia, for instance, you may not speak Spanish, but there are other people there who are interacting with your woman who will be listening to her language and be able to say, well, yeah, she's uneducated, and they'll treat her accordingly, even if it's subconscious. I've had that happen to me before. I went to a place where there are a lot of erudites who are, professors and whatnot, and they heard the lady I was with speak, and they was like, okay, yeah, we can tell where she's from based on how she speaks. And so that's That's important. You want to take notice of that. Now, okay, so we got past that point. You lived with her for a year. She's still working out, or 6 months to a year. She's working out good, passed all the tests, passed the screening. You like what you see. Now, just before you decide to apply for that 90-day visa, for you guys who don't know, that's called a fiance visa. The United States allows you to apply for a 90-day visa, at which time the woman that you're with can come and live with you for 90 days. And as long as she gets married to you within that 90-day period, bam, you're married. No problem. She doesn't have to go back. It works out. It's like a pre-test. In other words, you can come bring her for 90 days, get married within that 90-day time period. You get married. The law allows that. That's pretty much typical immigration law. So that's something. Now, here's the thing, fellas. Before you do that, before you even have that woman come to this country, it's very important that you do the most important thing. Get that prenuptial agreement signed before you bring her to this country. Why? Because once you bring her to this country, one of the arguments to nullify a contract is that the person signed it under pressure. And so if you bring her up here during that 90-day period and she feels pressure to sign that contract in order for her to stay, that could be grounds for a judge to basically nullify your prenuptial agreement. So you make sure you have her sign that contract in her native land before you bring up. I'm using Colombia again, but you find yourself an attorney there. You have your attorney here draft the papers. You have those papers officially translated to Spanish for, I don't know, $300-400. You have her lawyer read that to her in her native country. She signs off on that both in English and Spanish. And then what? Then then at that point you can begin working on the 90-day visa. Now here's the thing. Once you get your woman here, the indoctrination is going to start. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, as I told you guys earlier, it takes about 20 years for a woman to come from their country to this country to be fully indoctrinated into Western culture. Now you can slow it down. You can speed it up. My suggestion is you slow that down. You may be able to slow that down for 4, 5, 6 years. Hell, and by the time that happens, it won't matter because she'll be out of the category for riding the CC. And so it won't matter. You met her at 25. You got married to her at 25. By the time she's 55, it won't matter. And hell, you'll be so old you won't care anymore either. But bottom line is there's no rush to the indoctrination process. So the question is, how do we protect your foreign woman from the American culture? We're about to dig into the nuts and bolts of that. But before I do, I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat room. We got 64 people here. Look, for some reason, my likes and my shares have not been going on. And on top of that, I haven't gotten any new subscriptions. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe now. In addition, I want my folks in my rich mob, what I need you guys to do, and everybody in the chat room, make sure to hit the 1 button if you can hear me. If you can hear me and you appreciate this conversation, hit the number 1 button. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm telling you what, you guys are going to be going overseas. You're going to find these beautiful women in Thailand, Colombia, Dominican Republic, Brazil, where else? East Africa, West Africa, South Africa, Kenya, all these different places, all these different Asian countries. Nobody's going to give you a breakdown like this, or at least something that's food for thought to make you think. So hit the number 1 button if you appreciate what I'm doing, because this is basically the future. The world is yours, fellas, and you should know how to approach it. I'm not one who's going to sit here and tell you you should be alone for the duration of your adulthood and not have children. I have great respect for the men that do say that, but I just know it's unrealistic. I will be doing you a disservice if I told you that having sons and daughters, I don't have daughters, but having children, I have sons, is something you shouldn't do. It's rewarding. It has benefited me tremendously as a man in my development. I would not be the man that I am today. The giving man is willing to sacrifice. My maturity level, my generosity has increased tremendously since I've become a father. Even having to deal with these lovely ladies in my life, it has given me the patience of Job. Okay, so trust me, it's made me a better, more complete man. Largely, the reason that I do what I do for you guys is because of my sons. Because me being a father, I know what it's like, and I know what these young boys need, and I know what I missed out in. So growing up, not having a father like myself. And so this is why I'm willing to do that. So yes, becoming a father, if you do it right, it makes you a better man, makes you great. And I want you guys to, and if you find the right type of woman, it'll drive a motivational woman, is inspirational. It will cause for you to be a better man. Now that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be easy, but it'll cause you to be a better man. Shout out to Volcanus. Thank you so much for the super chat. Volcanus is always in there, man. Thank you so much. You're so kind. I appreciate you. Said salute the info that people touch on, but no one has had the discussion in this matter. That's why Uncle D is a legend. Thank you so much, bro. You guys appreciate what I'm doing. Make sure you contribute to the Cash App and the PayPal, which are right there on the bottom of the screen. You guys should be able to see it. I'll see if I can make it blink there. Blinking. Look at that. Cash App, PayPal. Make sure you contribute to that. All right. Now, back to what I was saying. So now we're in the meat of the conversation. You want to recreate her community in the U.S. All right. So what does that mean? Your woman, let's say your woman is from Colombia, right? Well, now let's pick one that a lot of people go to. Your woman is from the Dominican Republic. There's probably a Dominican community in your town. And if not, then you should be able to find a Spanish Caribbean community in your town. Why is that important? Well, it's important because you want to recreate your woman's community in the United States. There are probably people in that community who don't even speak English, or if they do, they don't speak it very well because they've stuck to their language. There are probably people in that community who go to certain restaurants where they speak their language and they eat their native food. There's people in that community who can tell you where a house of worship is, whether it's most likely a church, Protestant, Catholic, whatever, where you have your woman's culture, your woman's people there. All right. In addition to that, when you begin to interact with these people, they'll tell you about entertainment, different, and also different schools, different places where she can feel comfortable so she doesn't feel like she has to reach out and make new friends amongst these lovely ladies. And also extracurricular activities, she'll meet people. Oftentimes, for instance, here in Houston, they have something called the Dominicanos of Houston. They also have the Colombians of Houston. They have the Venezuelans. They have the Ethiopian. They have Ethiopian restaurants. They have Eritrean restaurants. They have West African restaurants, and that probably include Ghana and also Nigeria. But they have pretty much every group. Eastern Europeans are heavy here in the United States. In Houston, we pretty much have everybody here. Now, if you moving your woman to Des Moines, Iowa, you might have a problem. But the culture, the lovely lady culture is not so toxic up there because you don't have as many lovely ladies. But again, you want to recreate your woman's community as best you can here in the United States by finding the restaurants, the house, in other words, a church where her people will. Well, you're not going to find, if we're talking about Dominicans, you're not going to find a church full of Dominicans per se, unless you maybe in New York somewhere. But for the most part, you can find a house of worship with other Latino people in there, and you bring her there. That way, if she's Christian, she's Catholic, she can praise and do praise and worship there. And what that does is it limits her interaction with sorry about that, you guys. It limits her interaction with this toxic culture. That's what you want to do. That's the overall job. As to her restaurants you go to, now of course you could take to American restaurants. Of course you want to take her to the Vic and Anthony's, the Ruth Chris's, the Ocean Airs, all these and other different places, the Arby's. But for the most part, you also want to incorporate these other places. And that has to do with the restaurants, the house of worship, the entertainment. So if she likes dancing, take her dancing. She likes watching novellas, make sure you get that cable channel or that Netflix channel so she can watch her novellas all day. No problem with that. Entertainment, school, extracurricular activities, all that. Keep it in mind. Keep her interaction with these lovely ladies at a minimum. And that includes your family, your friends, and your friends' wives. Now that's probably the most controversial thing I say. You got this fine young Dominican woman, or this fine young Thai woman or Colombian woman, right? And now the first thing you do is mess all that up by bringing her around the lovely ladies of your family, which includes your mama, your sisters, your grandma, all of your aunties, right? And here's another one, your friends and their wives. I promise you, let me tell you a story, because they'll mess that up. I promise you, they'll mess it up for you. I was at a function probably about 4 or 5 months ago with my beautiful young girlfriend. And I went over to this function filled with lovely ladies. A young brother, he's a real estate tycoon in the making here in Houston, Texas, and he just redeveloped his property over the hood. So I'm sitting in the room with the men cordoned off. That's how they do it. And my lady, she comes in the room and brings me a plate of food. All the other black dudes in there was like, ooh, they knew it was going to be a problem because the other lovely ladies, they refused to bring their man some food. Are you kidding me? They were all dressed up with their fancy lovely lady clothes on, and you know that they got from the Galleria Mall. And here my lovely lady is bringing catering me, put the food in my mouth. Put the food in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? It was just too much. It was just too much, right? And so it's important. Now, luckily for me, my lady doesn't care because she's an American citizen, born and raised in Boston, Ivy League educated. And so she's used to it. And I've convinced her to go to law school. So I'm happy about that. And so we're working on either getting her into Harvard or Yale. I'm thinking maybe she can go to one of the local law schools around here. We'll see how that works out. But the bottom line is, most women are going to try to fit in. And that's just how women are like that. They're herd creatures. You know, they got the female own group preference. They want to help each other out. They want to do for each other. They want to stick by each other. As I say in my books, Rules to Live By, How to Maintain Peace of Mind and Happiness. Women always get along, except when they don't. And if you can get those books on Amazon, Rules to Live By, How to Maintain Peace of Mind and Happiness in a Conflicted World. And there are several rules on the back as to each chapter that'll explain that. But women always get along except when they don't. What that means is they kind of want to stick together. So even if your lady is from Colombia, these lovely ladies here in the United States of America will be trying to drag her into their toxic circle, and they will begin to rub off on her. Their bad habits, their ways, their perspectives will begin to rub off on her. So what you want to do, fellas, is limit your interaction with your family. Because the ones, and I'm going to tell you, your family, that your mama, your aunties, they don't have respect for you. And they're going to let it be known. Girl, you ain't got to bring old big head no food. He need to get up and get it himself, girl. Yeah, and they might say it in jest, but they really mean that because people often say jokingly what they really mean. And so your woman is going to pick up on the fact that your mama and your sisters and your aunties don't have respect for you. Now, when you go to Colombia, if you go to Dominican Republic, you go to these Latin countries, even the littlest of little boys get respect from the females in the family. So this is something that's totally foreign to them. Keep that in mind, fellas. Keep that in mind. And so when your woman sees that, you mean like, oh, this is how y'all do it. Okay, this is customary. They're going to make her feel awkward about serving you and treat you, catering to you hand and foot like they do the men in their country. And so eventually they'll stop or begin to taper off. And that'll be your damn fault. It'd be your damn fault because you decided with your funky self, you decided to bring her around your family. And your friends' wives, they're going to demand through eyes. Women, let me tell you something else. When I talk about this in my books, women have a form of nonverbal communication, the way they look at each other, the expressions on their face that can show hostility. I promise you that they do. It doesn't matter that you don't understand. Trust me, they do. And women know. Why is she looking at me crazy? Well, I'm ready to get out of here. You ever go in the room and the women are just agitated for some reason or other based on something some woman did across the room? They like, and you don't even understand what the problem is. You don't understand why your woman is mad at the waitress, the female waitress. And you know what makes them even more upset? When they're dealing with a woman who doesn't read their nonverbal communications. That makes them even more angry. You see what I'm saying? I know you brothers alike. What is he talking about? Trust me. If you have some women friends, talk to say, do y'all communicate with each other like nonverbal? Like you could, they'll say, yeah, if you see a woman doing something like this, blah, blah, they'll explain it to you. It's hard for them to explain, but remember, they're in tune with that. They've been doing that since they were little girls. I promise you, they do it. You are oblivious to it, but they're not. And so they are going to basically shame your woman, your friends, your funky friends and their wives, or your the funky wives of your friends also are people you got to look out. So you want to limit the contact that you have with them. I get it. You still want to go for Christmas. Go drop those gifts off, hang out for about 15, 20 minutes, and get your butt back on the road with your wife. This is what we're trying to do is we're trying to prolong what you brought. You went through all this trouble to go to Thailand, Dominican Republic, Colombia, Brazil to get this fine woman, right? That's sweet, submissive, and feminine, and inspirational. And the first you want to bring her and ruin her. That's basically like dropping a full-length mink into a vat of dirty mortar oil. You did that. You the one that did that. So it's your fault. So what I'm trying to do is help you guys not do that to yourself by being so goddamn naive. Stop. That's the thing. Now here's another thing. What you want to do is, and as I said before, you want to find a house of worship in Spanish or in the language that's in your woman's native language. Why? Because what's going to happen when you take her down to the local Baptist church where you was baptized at 4 or 5 years old, when your grandma used to have that Martin Luther King fan in the hot summertime, fanning herself like, amen, hallelujah. All those old people, those old women, those older lovely ladies, they're going to ruin her too. So you find her a place where they speak Spanish, if she speaks Spanish, or let's say you got an Ethiopian, find an Ethiopian Orthodox church, find one of those churches where the Nigerian people go, whatever you do, whatever you want. Find her, you go to her house of worship, right? You go there, you make sure she's able to be around her people, because that will also reinforce her culture and help her stay intact. You don't want her to be Americanized. If you want an Americanized woman, you didn't have to take your black ass to a foreign country and get one. You could have stayed right here. So what I'm trying to do is help you maintain what you already have. Here's another thing. Let your home be reflective of her culture. What does that mean, fellas? What that means is you need to allow your lady to put her touches on your home. So all that little funky furniture that you got from the furniture store, or the rugs and all that stuff, just let her have leeway to decorate the home how she wants to. Because all of those things, whether it's her cultural symbols, her rugs, the things she chooses, those things are going to reinforce her culture. She is basically going to recreate her culture in your house, in you all's house. And that's perfectly acceptable. So now what? You're immersed in that culture, and you'll be able to recognize it. If you come to my house, what you'll see photographs from different places, whether it's Dominican Republic or Colombia, different parts. You'll be like, okay, I'm comfortable here. You see, you see the little different images and stuff that I picked up. You know, you'll see that, and you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. I see what's going on. Yeah, and so when my lady comes in, she's like, yeah, he already knows what he's doing. Here's another thing, and this is, you know, when I say let your home be reflective of her culture, let her be in charge of that. Let that be her domain, because she's gonna want to stay there. She's gonna want to be in there. That's her culture. She's immersed in her culture. Let her make friends from her culture. Make new friends from her culture. You do that and she do that. You know somebody who's from where she's from, but you got to be careful with that too. But you know somebody where she's from, y'all do that. Y'all get together. Let's say your woman is from, I don't know, your woman is from Brazil. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to go down to the William Gracie Jiu-Jitsu studio and let some of those Brazilian instructors, you know, let her be part of that. If you have children, let your children be part of that. You want to go to the Brazilian steakhouses. You want to go to the capoeira martial arts with dance. Really, it's really a form of dance, but it was, you know, any of you guys who know what capoeira is, martial arts. the Brazilian slaves taught it to each other. They masked it as dance, and what that did was allow them to stay in shape and ready to protect themselves. It's a martial arts, but it looks like a dance, and that's how the Brazilian slaves they managed to practice it and pass it down, because they would tell the slave owner, "Oh no, this is just a dance we're doing out here. You know, this is not a martial arts where I can kick you in your mouth upside down with one hand on the ground. That's not, you know." Otherwise, of course, they wouldn't let them practice it. But from there, you're going to learn about different festivals. And I'm using, for instance, you got a Brazilian one. You learn about different Brazilian festivals. You meet people there. This is what you do. Let her make friends from that culture. But still, she's your wife. And even new friends, you got to watch them, because sometimes those new friends will still taint your lady with that American culture. And it is what it is. Also, as far as the cooking, remember, you lived there for 6 months to a year. So you already know how she's cooking. You already know what she's going to cook. You've gotten used to it. It took me a long time to get used to eating mango. But I like eating mango. It's just boiled bananas and plantains. I like it. It's good. I put some eggs and some turkey sausage. I like it in the morning, right? My black coffee, no cream, no sugar. But you got used to that, fellas. And you are also learning the language. That's another thing, because you want to be able to speak your woman's language to her in public and in private, because that also does what? It helps do what? It helps reinforce the culture. And here's the other thing, fellas. We want to talk about some pitfalls, and we'll get to that next. But shout out to W. Alfonso. Uncle D is a legend. Like to share. Thank you so much. What's up with the Cash App and the PayPal? I haven't seen any. Let me double check. Maybe I need to run a commercial or something. You know what? Yeah. So y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and run a commercial before we come back to these traps and pitfalls. And I'm gonna talk about like domestic violence for papers. In other words, they use that as a trick. I'll give you guys some information on that. But if you appreciate what I'm doing, man, don't make me have to run one of these boring commercials for y'all to contribute, because I will do it. I got a boring one for you right now.
Paid actor.
I will scream and I will holler. Then I'll scream and holler some more, saying absolutely nothing.
You have a choice in legal representation. And in making that choice, do you want an attorney with a made-for-TV nickname to represent you in your serious car wreck claim?
I will growl, kick, and scream.
My name is Dennis Sperling. If you've been involved in a motor vehicle accident, contact me toll-free at 866-529-2444. The choice is yours.
All right, we are back, and I'm joining the conversation. The link is going up in the chat room. If you guys want to join the conversation, come on in. But here's another, and make sure you contribute to the Super Chat and the Cash App. We got W. Alfonso and Volcanus. I appreciate you guys. So here's the thing, fellas. This is you and your woman here. You know, it's still early on. You kind of developing some things. What I'm basically telling you guys to do, man, is protect your home, protect your wife, protect what she hears, protect what she sees. You don't want her. You don't want her mind saturated with all this toxic foolishness that's going on here in the U.S. And you got to let her know, look, we don't do that. I don't want you doing, in all that. And we're not going to be going to all these clubs and whatnot like that, baby. We're going to do our thing. You see what I'm saying? That's what we're going to do. We're going to do our thing. And you got to talk to your lady. Hopefully it's been, like I said, it's been 6 months to a year. You got the prenup. You got all that going on. So she knows it's not going to be some financial windfall, so she's in it for the long run, because there's no financial incentive to get divorced. You got that established already, but what you got to do is now you might get stuck in the room with her. In other words, she's stuck in the room with you, stuck in the room with her, and she's stuck in the room with you. So she has to behave herself, but you got to protect her mind. She can't help it. She's going to be influenced by this toxic culture. So what do you have to do? You got to protect your woman, and that's what these things are about. Now, the thing I want to talk to you about is very important, right? Because you're going to have scammers out there. You got a lot of women who come from these third world countries. They think they're going to come over here and it's going to be paid to go, and they're going to be able to use you and get your money and all that different stuff. So I'm going to run through some stories with y'all. DV for papers. What do I mean by that? I mean that there's a law in the books called the Violence Against Women Act, VAWA. It was initially created to protect victims of domestic violence, and it offers specific protections for people without legal status in the U.S. What does that mean? All the woman has to do is allege that she's being abused her or her child is being abused, and she doesn't have to wait that 7 years necessary to get those papers. See, here's what happens. Once you get married to somebody, I think it takes, I don't know, I think up to 7 years, you got to keep going back, keep going back. Yeah, we still married. Yeah, everything's going. They want to make sure it's not a sham marriage. All right. And so you got to keep going back, reporting in. And if at some point it doesn't work out, she may get sent back home. But if there's allegations of domestic violence, then guess what happens? She gets either to stay in the house or the apartment, and you got to pay for it, and you got to give her a monthly stipend. How does that happen? She alleges domestic violence, a restraining order goes in, you can't come out, she files for divorce, and now what? Now you paying custody, you paying for a child if you got one, you paying for alimony if you live in a state like that, and you're basically responsible for this woman. And so that's a trick bag. I know many women that have done that. To many, it's not rampant, but these ladies know about that. They know if they get over here and say he hit me, even though in their own countries, those men are slapping the taste out their mouth every time they look around and do something disorderly out of pocket. But here, they know that the laws are different and they favor women, and a lot of women will use that. They will use that. If you want to know how to get around that, then you're going to have to pay for you're going to have to do a private consultation with Uncle D. If you're having that problem, if you're afraid of that problem, I can help you. I can give you a system to work around that. So to make sure your woman isn't setting you up like that. But you can hit me up at sperlingdennis@gmail.com. If you're in this situation right now, I'll draw you out a plan based on your facts and tell you how to get out of the situation. When you false accusations of domestic violence from your immigrant wife, and now she set you up, you paying child support, you paying alimony, you got to sustain the house, and she's living free, and you're not even with her no more. Okay, that's what they do. I get it. It's game, but that's the VAWA, the Violence Against Women Act, allows for that. But interestingly enough, it was 45 and his people that were cutting down on that. 45, Donald Trump was the one that said, no, we're going to end that loophole. It's much harder to prove. Now, Biden, on the other hand, he's going to come behind you and undo what Trump did. But for the most part, that's what happened. They would come in, say, yeah, they would stay cool for a little while, push that first baby out. Some of them didn't even wait that long. They allege domestic violence, and bam, they get everything. You see what I'm saying? And they get permission to stay in this country for free without having to go through all the loopholes that everybody else. In other words, it gives them an opportunity to skip the line. So keep that in mind. Joint bank accounts, just say no. I had a situation where a young guy, he got married to this woman. He was in love, this Eastern European woman, white guy. Eastern European woman, he was in love. He got the joint bank account. She cleared out his bank account. They were having some issues leading up to that, but this fool decided he was going to put a joint bank account with his woman. And it can happen even with American women. But she cleared out his bank account, disappeared. He doesn't even know what she is. He can't even file divorce because he doesn't know what she is. Basically, she just dipped on him. You see what I mean? She got up out of there. So don't do that. That's happened before. Don't rush to have children because, as I said before, a lot of these women, they'll push a few babies out. They got those 2 anchors in place. And now what? You're paying child support. And here's the double whammy. They got child support coming and they've alleged domestic violence. So they ain't going nowhere. That's another one you got to look at. Here's another thing. I know another white guy. This cat, his little Asian wife, she had a son by this man, but the family was begging for money and she was always sending the money home. And that just created a problem in their relationship because he's finding himself, first it was $50, next it was $100, next it's $1,000, $2,000 a month this family needs. And the family is dependent on it, and they're putting pressure on her to send the money home. So these are some other things you need to look out for. So what I'm saying is don't be a sucker or a simp. Be like the men of their culture. Remember, I told you guys last night, you want to live amongst those men. You want to learn how those men treat those women. You want to try to create a relationship as best you can with her family members, her close family members that have control over her, and say so and say, hey, look, y'all need to talk to her. Every time she get on, don't hesitate to call the mom if you got a relationship. Don't hesitate to call the dad or the big brother, whoever the father figure is in that family. Okay, this is how you want to do it, because remember, she doesn't have anybody keeping her bound to her social contract that exists in her culture. So you're going to have to be that guy that does that. All right. Now, so that pretty much summarizes the part 2 of our discussion here, protecting your foreign woman from American culture. Because many of you guys are going to do that. That's going to be an option for you guys. So, you know, it is what it is. But I want to give a shout out to Daniel. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate the super cash app, Andre, and of course, Myron. Wow, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys doing that. Look, we got 96 people in the chat room. We got 90 likes. Let's get the likes up. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel right now, okay? If you subscribe to the channel already, push the number 2. If you subscribe to the channel already, push the number 2. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel now and push the number 2 and let me know you've subscribed to it. Go ahead and do it. Let's get you guys subscribing to the channel right now. If you've subscribed already, press the number 2. This is some good information. I know I tailored this page for Black men, but this page is good for all men. This is all information that you need. You are not going to get somebody who's going to talk to you in this level of detail. I promise you, because they can't do it, because they don't have the knowledge base, they don't have the legal knowledge base, and they don't have the lived experiences to go with the legal knowledge base. I got war stories for days. Subscribe to the channel, hit the number 2 button, and let me know. Also, hit the like button. Hit the thumbs up button. We already got one hater in here with the thumbs down. I don't know who would want to hate on this information. This is good stuff. It's teaching you men to protect yourselves. It's teaching you what to look out for. When you see these red flags, stop. That's what red means. Red means stop. If you see these red flags in your woman, stop. Know what you're dealing with. But again, if you find yourself in a situation where you done brought some woman from overseas here and she's shady, and you think you see the setup coming, hit me up, sperlingdennis@gmail.com. We'll do a one-on-one consultation, and I'll help you get out of that mess. All right? That's what I'm here for. But in the meantime, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to the channel. Now, Al P and Ballers of Travel. What's up, fellas? Welcome back. What do you think about these tidbits of information here? Does this help?
Okay. Hey, I gotta add to. I don't know if you said your advice about this, but I think it's kind of tied in on the first video that you had for the vetting them out. Is any sign that if she's so adamant to go to the United States, like if you guys first dating, you guys talk to each other, and she's like, "Oh, I want to go to the United States," or you vetting her out and she's like pushing you to go to United States like so bad. Hey, I want to get the visa. Let me get the visa, whatever. That's a red flag too, in my opinion.
Tell me why.
Because from my experience, my first Dominican girlfriend when I was in Puerto Plata, she was so adamant, I'm so excited because she spoke English too, but
now that's a red flag to me, but go ahead.
Yeah. And she knew and I know other women too that do the same thing. I dated, they didn't speak English neither, but they really wanted to go to the United States as well, like really bad, like not, and they'll tell you and they also tell you what specific place they want to live at. Like if you want to live in Texas, she want to live in New York, that's a red flag.
Well, the thing is, bro, let me just suggest this to you. That's okay if they want to do that. The question is can she be, did you properly vet her? Did you go through your selection process? Did you do that 1-year test? What is she willing to do that? You see,
I didn't do that. I didn't do that the first time.
But see, the thing is, you have fun with her, but you put her in a category. You see what I mean? She's in a certain category. So you know she ain't gonna never make it. But you're gonna have a good time with her.
I learned my lesson when I first came here, but I mean I lived my learn, but I mean I'm taking heed what you said about, vetting women. I'm gonna probably take notes on this for sure.
Yeah, and the thing is, bro, even if she wants to come to the U.S., that's great. Because if she comes here on a 90-day visa, a fiance visa, as they call it, and it doesn't work out, you send her home. Or you say, well, you know what? She left. I don't know where she was. She got some fellow relatives in Brooklyn. I don't know what happened to her. You see what I mean? We were supposed to get married, but it didn't work out. But you make her sign that prenuptial before she gets here. And after the marriage, you make her sign that postnup. And then you make sure you get that that irrevocable trust in place. You see what I mean? You make sure you put that house in your company's name that you get me to start for you before you get married. I start that corporation for you, and then you quick deed all the rights that you have to your house over to that corporation. And there's nothing she can do about it because it predated your marriage to that woman, and it's owned by the corporation, and you're just paying rent to the corporation. Basically, you're paying the mortgage on behalf of the corporation. The mortgage is in your name, right? In other words, the loan is in your name, but the deed is in the name of the of your LLC, which is a separate entity. You see what happened? You see, and that's why I tell you, brothers, make sure you're a little older, you're more established, so you have your things that you pretty much gonna have. By the age of 39, 40 years old, you should pretty much have all the things you're gonna have: the house, your cars, all these sort of things. So that's why I'm telling you guys, just run it like that. But in the meantime, what's up, Ballers of Traveling? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well, Dennis. I'm doing well. This is just right up my alley right now because, I run a group called Balls of Traveling. So, I have a lot of followers. Mm-hmm. So we discuss this stuff all the time. Yeah. And the resounding thought for
what do you think about that Violence Against Women Act that allows them to cut the line?
Well, that's another trap, I mean, it's almost like you're not the American citizen, it's just crazy,
There's a way you can get around that. And any of your guys, if they really want to do a one-on-one consultation, they plan on bringing a woman over here, I can set it up so she just set herself up for a trap. She'll just quickly realize, damn, I made a mistake with this dude. And they can hit me up at sperlingdennis@gmail.com.
Well, I'll post your video in my group, and and they can take it from there. Yeah. So I mean, the groups really intertwine with each other. So if I post your video in my group, it's probably going to spread to the others. So
what else kind of said, wow, that was a good point? Is there anything I said in that diatribe that said, yeah, that's a good point, or oh, I've thought about that before, or I haven't thought about like that? What's your thoughts on that?
No, I haven't thought about the whole trust thing. I mean, I'm sure that can expand into other things, with maybe even dating domestically. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we got to protect ourselves all the way around. Because
see, let me tell you something. Okay, so when I look at a divorce, it's basically a lawsuit to undo a contract. That's basically because a marriage contract is a contract. It's a contract issued by the state to bind two people together legally, who had before that didn't have any legal obligations to each other. You got fidelity, support, and assistance on both parts. Bam, y'all bound together. That's why the state issues. So what do you need to terminate a contract? Or basically declare what your rights are after this contract is broken. What you need is a lawsuit. So how do you protect your assets from a lawsuit? It's the same thing. You need agreements to modify that contract, prenuptial agreements, postnuptial agreements, and you need also irrevocable trust, which means your money goes in there and it's irrevocable. You can't take it out. Yeah, it might lock it up, but you can still do stuff with the interest as long as it benefits the trust. So what is the trust to benefit? Trust is to benefit the interest of the Sperling family or the Ballers of Traveling organization. Bottom line, that's another way to protect your assets. That's a conversation that I have with people on my one-on-one. So sperlingdennis@gmail.com. Give me a call. We'll talk about your scenario. Give me an email. We'll talk about your scenario. But what else would you like to add to this conversation, Ballers of Travel?
Yeah, what I like to add, the recommendation in the groups is to actually move to the country and live there.
That is the ideal thing. Yeah. And I said that earlier. But see, the thing is, a lot of these brothers aren't going to do that. What's going to happen is a lot of these brothers, they may visit once or twice. They may marry women who are fresh over here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they're just not going to because it's 20 million of us. You see what I mean? Of which about 7 million is only 4 million Dominicans in all, right? So what does that mean? If it's 4 million Dominicans, you got more or less, you know, 2 million females, of which probably only about 700,000 are marriage age, and probably most of them are married or have children. So you're looking at only maybe 100 to 200,000 women that you can marry and bring over here. What about the other, 6,800,000 black men? You see what I'm saying? They marry. They not. So it's not practical that it's gonna happen like that. You see what I mean?
I mean, brothers are traveling to Cartagena, Brazil, Thailand, Japan, Germany. I mean, we can go over the countries. So we're not limited to those countries. And Ethiopia is really getting popular too now, because they, men want more conservative women, and they tend to come from Ethiopia, Japan. Those are very conservative. Korea. So we're not going over there in masses, but it is changing. Demographics are changing, and brothers are getting passports.
The thing is, bro, when you move to her country, she has the advantage. I've lived in the Dominican Republic. You see what I mean? And what you don't want to do, I've lived in Colombia. What you don't want to do is have an argument with your Dominican girlfriend, and then her family show up, and your family is in Detroit. What you don't want to do is have an argument with your Dominican girlfriend, and then the neighbors come out to help her, and then you there by yourself at 2 o'clock in the morning. You see what I'm saying, man? I've had that happen. So that's something that men want to think. And here's another thing. I love visiting these other countries. I enjoy hanging out. I love Colombia. I think Colombia is probably my favorite place to live. I love it. I love it, especially Bogota. It's just so beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Do I want to live there forever? I probably want to have my access to be able to come back here. Maybe I'll get a ranch down there. Maybe I'll get a villa in the DR. But when I was in Cabarete, man, the water went out in my villa. The water went out for like 3 or 4 months. And so I had to get a water truck to come put water in it. You're going to miss these first world conveniences. You see what I'm saying? Oftentimes what happens is when Americans move overseas, they get a little bit of regret. You know what I'm saying? They want to come back. You see what I'm saying? And so what I'm trying to tell you is, even if they go over there, eventually they're going to have, many of these brothers are going to come back here. They're going to want to bring their wives here. They're not necessarily just going to want to, only the most adventurous of us are going to move and go live in like places like Japan and Southeast Asia. And it's not going to happen as a practical matter. So that's why I'm giving them a schematic of a game plan they can use so they can have the best of both worlds. That's all I'm trying to do, balls of traveling. That's it. But either way, thank you so much, man. What else you want to add before we go back to LP?
No, that's a solid, Dennis. To have a alternative to, not being afraid to bring it here, because you might be, taken to the cleaners. So this is definitely a video that I think I could share with my group and giving them an alternative to, what you're talking about. And I'll make sure I'm tell them, tell you balls of trapping sent you to Dennis Sperling,
Yeah. Just come through, man. I want you brothers to know that the world is yours. It's free. You're free to travel, but I want you to have the best of both worlds. We built this country, and if we didn't build the whole thing, we damn near got the foundation started, and what this country is built on. You see what I'm saying? So we are entitled to some things, some of the privileges that we get as Americans. We have to share them, but we're definitely entitled. So I don't want us to lose those privileges to try to go get something else and end up with nothing. So yeah, we're entitled to this, but so we should have the best of both worlds if we can. You want to join in the conversation, go ahead and join in. I need you guys to contribute to the super chat though. Contribute to the super chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. We've been going kind of light. Y'all been getting all this information for free. I normally charge anywhere from $500 to $750 an hour. And so
Lord Jesus.
I'm a highly trained attorney. I get billed out at $750 an hour in these class action environmental cases. So y'all, let me see. Volcanoes gave me $10. W. Alfonso gave me $4.99. And let me see here. Let me see. Jaws gave me $2. Y'all a little bit short. Okay, I need y'all to come through with the vig. Okay, come on, break bread with a hustler, as they say. But anyway.
Yeah, I'll get you. I'll try.
Oh man, I'm having a good time though, man. I appreciate that. I'm having a good. So LP, man, what else you want to add to this conversation, bro?
Well, now it'll be a question and a suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say a question first. Okay, for my situation, do you think me as an expat, like let's say the next 5 years or so, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting myself established, getting myself together financially, and then like I met someone. I married her here, and then we have children together, and then once before I vet her and everything, and then we go to United States. You think that would be a good idea too, as well?
So let me see if I got this straight. You met a woman here, or you met a woman there? Oh, where are you?
In DR.
You're in DR. Okay, so you meet a woman in the DR, and you go through the process that I already talked about earlier. Because remember, she's got her papers up. Because see, here's the thing, man. You got to go through that vetting process that I showed you earlier. Does she have a criminal record? Because all that's gonna hold you up. Does she have children that she wants to bring up here? If so, you need to establish what you're gonna do with these kids off top. You see what I mean? All of that needs to be worked out beforehand. She's there, you're there. All right. She's gonna, I mean, it depends on what you want. If you're able to stay there, cool, stay there. If you like staying there and you can do without, I don't know where you're from, but if you can do without the first world amenities and the security that comes along with that, and you don't need to get back here, cool, do you. Go ahead.
Yeah, like to add what you're saying too, like I really want her for like to work for me like an assistant, like of a business and stuff.
There or here?
In this both, like here and there.
Well, that's a win-win situation.
Okay.
Well, and we could probably do a one-on-one consultation. You probably need to form a corporation there. I have a corporation in the DR based out of Cabarete. It's called Coffee King International SRA. So I can help you form your corporation through some of my attorneys that I work with in the DR, but you can also form a sister corporation here. What state are you in?
Texas.
Yeah, so yeah, we could definitely form a corporation because I have the same thing. And what it does is it makes things a lot easier. You know, health insurance, W-2s, work history, all that different stuff. But here's the thing. You want her to work for you, and that's cool. That's a noble idea. So you want her to basically be able to travel with you back and forth.
Yeah.
So you basically
she'll be my maid. She'll make sure, some stuff.
You say your maid? You want her to be your maid?
No, like you already know, wife, everything,
Oh, like, yeah, boy, the feminists are gonna they're gonna send you evil messages for the rest of the week. But yeah, that basically. So it sounds to me, yeah. So she's gonna be your wife. She's gonna be an American citizen or a legal resident, and working towards her citizenship. Yeah, so you basically want to vet this woman. And the thing I would suggest you do, since you have these special terms, you need to put her to work there. You see what I mean? Whatever it is you're trying to do, you need to figure out, baby, this is what we do here. You need to start working here. But I'm going to tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something. Listen to me very carefully, okay? Once you start making love to that woman and having babies with that woman, that work productivity is going to decrease tremendously. I'm just letting you know now because she feel like she's putting her hours in other places. Okay, her work is coming out in other places. All right, she's working hard in different locations in your life. Okay, so she might not be the most dependable employee after a while. You understand what I'm trying to tell you, brother? Yeah. But it sounds good. Theoretically, it's an ideal situation, and I'm proud of you for even thinking about it. Okay, that shows forethought and gumption on your part. You're gonna just be like Amazon with it. You know what I'm saying? And then she's gonna hit you for 68 billion and go marry a science teacher from Seattle. I ain't mad at you, brother. It's still a win for you. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Okay? Oh, I'll make sure the prenuptial be straight though. I'll be sure.
You need a prenup, you need a postnup, you need some I don't know if you own any property, if you have any inherited property. You need you need an irrevocable trust. You need a lot. You need
I need your consultation before I do that.
Hit me up. It sounds like you do, because see, you can get married, and the thing is, I don't have a problem with marriage. What I have a problem with is a financial incentive that gives rise, that incentivizes divorce. That's what I have a problem with. I have a problem with the incentive that is laden in our family law system that incentivizes women to get divorced. There's a financial incentive in there. You mean I can have this dude's money, I can walk away with my gifts, cash, and prizes, and a monthly stipend and the children, and he's got to pay? Well, why in the hell should I get married then? So what you want to do is you want to limit that. You see, you want to limit that. You live in Texas. As far as child support, you good. You see what I'm saying? Especially if you writing out your own income every damn month. You see what I'm saying? It's a win-win situation. We'd have to talk about that in a private consultation too. Okay, but the bottom line is it can work for you. Okay, but again, I'm for marriage. I'm just against women robbing you in divorce court, fellas. That's what I'm against. That's why, that's why I when I say get married, I give you all these. There's some nuances too. You say I'm for marriage. I just don't want you getting. I want to separate. I don't want them separating you from your money, your hard-earned money. I don't give a damn what you say. Just because she laid down on her back and cooked a few meals and had some children does not entitle her to half your trap, because she wasn't with you shooting in the gym. She wasn't with you. She wasn't taking tests in medical school and law school. She didn't do one plumbing fixture at that plumbing job. She didn't lay down any carpet. She didn't do any of that. You see what I mean? She didn't take one of them, didn't memorize one of those engineering formulas. You see what I'm saying? So I don't believe in that. It's just a matter of changing the law. But that's the law. The law can be changed. Slavery used to be legal. They realized that was wrong too, and they made it illegal. All right? Yeah, it's legal to rob men in family court, but we realizing that that's wrong, and we're gonna make that illegal too. That's what I'm talking about, fellas. That's what I want. But anyway, thank you, Al P. Shout out to Hurry Up and Buy. Yo, D, this donation's for the value I just received about how's the irrevocable trust. Guys, this is how you do it. This guy gives you all jewels, and you need to donate to show him appreciate. Thank you so much, man. I know most of you guys have never even heard of a trust or irrevocable trust before you start coming to this page. And even if you did, you didn't know how and what context that can help you in your personal life. An irrevocable trust will eliminate some of the problems you have with divorce. An LLC will eliminate some of the problems you have with this woman taking your house and your cars. Judge, that car belongs to Ballers of Traveling LLC. So for me, I don't own that property. That's why I didn't declare it in my in my statement for divorce. It's not one of my assets. It belongs to that Rolls Royce over there. That belongs to Ballers of Traveling LLC, not me. Okay, you see what I'm saying, man? You see how that works?
Yeah.
And that's what you got to do. You got to anticipate what your adversary is going to shoot at and move the target. You understand? You know what they're coming for. Why would you put your woman on your bank account if you know that's going to give her access to the money you make? You got $40,000, $50,000 in there. You go to work one day, and from the drive from your house to your job, she's gone up there and pulled all that money out. By the time you get home, all the furniture is gone. You see what I'm saying? And she's gone with the money, the kids, and the furniture, and you didn't even know it was happening. You see what I'm saying? No, we're not playing that in 2021, fellas. You're gonna separate your wallet and your heart. All right, that's what you got. That's why your heart is up here in your chest, close to your brain that you think with, and your wallet is by your ass. So be an ass about your money. That's what you
separate accounts.
Yeah, but
remember what's in front of your ass, though.
Right. So what else? Right. So what else? My man Dan said, will it help with child support if I'm away? You need to do a consultation with me, man. I'll talk to you about child support and how we deal with that. I need to hear some particulars on your situation. Hit me up at sperlingdennis@gmail.com. I need to know where you live, and what. Just hit me up and we'll talk about it. But Ballers of Travel, what else you got to add to this conversation, man?
Well, I think you got to let them know that, the child support laws are dictated by the state that you live in, too. Like you said, Texas is a very conservative state as opposed to California. So, you could go over that a little bit more than I can, but I figured I'd just give you the springboard.
Well, let me say it like this. If you live in Texas and your woman lives in New York, you be the first to file. All right? Your woman lives in New York with the kid, but you live in Texas, you go ahead and file against her, and then the state of Texas will govern the child support. New York might, which is a very liberal state and likes to give women everything they want, they may govern the custody portion of it as to when you see this child, but they're not going to govern the money part. You understand what I'm saying? So you basically can bifurcate those issues. You guys understand what I'm saying? Well, look, let's do a private consultation. It's a lot of different ways. You're going to pay in the beginning and put your defense up, or you're going to pay at the end trying to catch up with her. Because I promise you, everything I'm telling you, if I'm her lawyer, we're going to get everything we can out of you, and it's not going to be fair. We're going to rob your ass, okay? I'm getting paid depending on how much I get for her. I'm robbing your black ass. I don't care what color you are. I don't care if your grandma's sick. I don't care if you've been working your whole life and this is your life savings. I don't care if she ran out on you and she got a baby by somebody else. None of that matters to me if I'm her lawyer. And so I'm telling you guys, this is how lawyers think. They're not going to have any sympathy for you. They're going to advise her to do everything they possibly can within the rules of professional responsibility to take you for everything you have. That's what I'm telling you, fellas, because there are people like me, and I'm nice to you because at least I'm willing to talk to you. Most lawyers, as I said, they're going to charge you an arm and a leg just to give you this information. So, and I'm not giving you legal advice right now. I'm just talking to you guys, generally letting you know that you are dealing with some sharks and some vipers on the other side. They're going to, irrespective of what your relationship was with your woman, once that lawyer gets in her ear, it's a wrap. It's not about that relationship. It's about this money. And they're gonna get that money and they're gonna get as much as they can. So you either prepare ahead of time or afterwards. And hopefully if you do it the right way, you remove the incentive for even getting a divorce. Because you're like, ain't no money to be got. Did you guys remember The Sopranos? Anybody ever watch The Sopranos? If you watch
I remember.
Push the number one. There was a time when the wife was trying to divorce Tony Soprano. And I think this was like season 5 or season 6. He was cheating on her and he had a whole bunch of women and he'd end up sleeping with one of them. He had a gumar, which was normal, but then he ended up messing with his girlfriend's cousin who had one leg. I mean, he just a cockhand. You see what I'm saying? And so that finally drove the wife over the edge, and she's like, I'm getting a divorce. But you see, here's the first thing he did. One of the first things he did, and this is what I tell guys, you go around to all the best lawyers in your town and you do a consultation with them. Our consultation, $500, $250, whatever. And so you conflict them out. You see what I'm saying? So now they can't do what? They can't come back and sue them. So basically all she has is trash lawyers to choose from. Ones that don't have experience, ones that are afraid, ones that's timid. All the best lawyers are eliminated already, right? And so what's the next thing? This is in the movie. This is in a TV show. What's the next thing he did? She said, well, this guy gets paid on a cash basis. Kind of like many of you truckers. There's really no way to keep track of how much you get because is it for fuel? Is it for travel? I don't get it, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? So you need a forensic accountant to go in there and figure out how much money this guy's actually making. And so that's going to cost money. That's going to be $5,000, $6,000 right there. She ain't making no money like that. Your lawyer, he might not even know how to do it. You get one of these little young lawyers, like a lot of these lovely ladies, I'm going to get a sister to represent me. You go right on ahead and get you one of them sisters to represent you. And what's going to happen is she's going to charge you. And if she doesn't know that, hey, I need this, I need that type of lawyer, she's not experienced, I need this type of expert to do a forensic examination of his books. Okay, great. But what if she doesn't know where to look? You see, and there's some other things you can do. You live in the state of New Hampshire. Your bank account is in the state of California. That's outside of the subpoena power of the state court. The subpoena power of most states stops at the state line. So you in Connecticut, but your savings and loan, where you keep your money, the vast majority of your money, is over in Montana or some goddamn place you went and opened the savings and loan. So it's outside the subpoena power. And here's another thing. You might be somebody who lives in the DR, somebody who lives in Colombia. As I told you guys, I got a corporation. So what does that tell you already? If I got a corporation in another country, what does that tell you? I probably have, along with that corporation, LP.
Mm-hmm.
What does it tell you? If I got a corporation, what else do I probably have?
You have more. You have cash. You have assets.
I got a bank account.
In the country, yes.
Do you think some judge in Houston, Texas, is going to be able to subpoena some bank in Dominican Republic or Colombia and get them to demand them to give the information?
No.
Outside the subpoena power. You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot of different ways you can do that to remove the financial incentive out of divorce. In other words, baby, let me tell you what Jay Rockefeller said. He said, own nothing, control everything. I can still control the money. I just don't own anything. I still control the house I live in. I just don't own it. But I control the corporation that owns it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
See, what I'm telling you guys will save marriages. I know they don't like it. Nobody wants to hear me say this stuff. That's mean. It's all perfectly legal. It's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. I'm teaching you how to salvage your marriage because you're removing the financial incentive out of divorce. That's what I'm telling you guys, how to protect your assets. I hope you guys appreciate this. I ain't seen a whole lot of cash apps, but I know ain't nobody giving this type of information out. I don't see. Y'all make sure y'all contribute. If you like this, then contribute. We got a couple more guys. Quincy, thank you so much, Quincy. I appreciate you for the cash app. Who else? Daniel, thank you. Daniel, twice for Daniel. Nugget Films, thank you guys. Myron Johnson, thank you guys. If you appreciate what I'm doing, contribute to the super chat and the cash app. LP, who did I leave off on? Did I leave off on you, LP, or Balls of Travel?
I think you did Balls of Traveling.
All right, LP, what else would you like to add? Is this information helpful to you, man? How to protect your assets?
It's definitely helping me, reaffirm and more detail what I need, what to expect, right. And what I'm preparing myself for, because I just thought of it in emotion. Oh, she's gonna be this, she's gonna be that, but now you giving me information that what I need to look for and what to expect and what the cues and the signs and read between the lines is definitely very helpful, especially
bro. Let me tell you one thing about you brothers. You black men, y'all too nice. You black men, all 22 million of you guys, you're far too nice. You're far too easy to get along with. You're far too loving. You're far too caring. I'm telling you, y'all are soft. Y'all soft as a cotton swab. As tough as y'all think y'all are, you guys are a bunch of very sweet, nice guys. I don't care what the news says. You guys are some of the kindest men on this planet. Some of the most forgiving and most tolerant men on this planet. And your own lovely ladies take advantage of that. And so these women will take advantage of that too. I had a brother on here yesterday. I say, man, he said, this is the best woman I ever had. He said, I'm 35 years old and I was dating this woman and she was from Kenya and she was the best woman I had. I said, bro, you know, the problem is you've been mistreated so badly, you know, here in the United States. All a woman has to do is smile and be nice to you and cook you one or two dinners and make love to you. And you feel like this is the best woman you ever had because you've been mistreated. You see what I'm saying? If you're a dog that's been kicked in your ass the entirety of your life, the first person that runs up and pets you and gives you some old dry dog food and a bowl of water, you think this is the best owner I've ever had. You see what I'm saying? You guys don't even know what good treatment is yet. Okay, you don't know what good treatment is, so it's easy pickings. You go down to the Dominican Republic and you'll take the first thing coming because my God, she's nice and she cooks and she smiles and oh my God, I'm just so happy and content. You don't even know how good it can get yet. You haven't even tested the limits. You just taking the first piece of the sweetness that you can get because you've been mistreated. And this is what you guys are. What you have to do, LP, is learn how those men in those countries treat those women And you have to mimic that to a certain point. It's gonna be out of your nature. A little bit. You mean I better get fed first? You mean I sit here and like if I say I want a massage and a turkey sandwich at 2 o'clock in the morning, that's what I'm gonna get? You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
You mean I can demand this? This is like I can send her to the store in the moto concho in the rain to get some plantains and find, and she better bring it back and it better not be no problems. Really, I can do that? You don't even know. I'm not saying that you would do that. I'm just saying this is how these men are treating. Look, Poppy is not playing, bro. Poppy he wants their soul. That's culturally how they're raised. He wants the attention. He wants the 3 meals a day. He wants to know back talk, and he wants side chicks. Like a lot of these women, they go off because, oh, my man cheated on me, so I shot him. These dudes have never been faithful to their women. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's culturally, I mean, think about it. Prostitution is legal in most of these Latin American countries because they understand women exchange money for sex and all these other things. But food, sex, whatever you want. That's what the wife do. That's why I told you guys last night. If you're dating a Latin woman, a Latino woman, you always got to have money around because that's what the man is supposed to do. He's supposed to provide, and she takes care of the kids, takes care of the house. You give her money, you make her life easy. And I'm not, it's just cultural, and it's hard for me to explain this in one conversation. It's really easier for you guys to just go down there. But take your Protestant, Judeo-Christian lenses off and go down there and recognize that everybody's culture is different. And then you'll begin to understand. But yeah, you can put some demands on these ladies. And you don't have to feel guilty about it. A lot of y'all are you're just sweet, nice guys. You really are. You're just some nice guys. And irrespective of the rap that you receive in the United States, me too, we're a bunch of soft, nice, sweet guys. You so nice, you ain't even tell a woman who weigh 280 pounds, you tell her, nah, baby, you fine. Y'all know you goddamn lying. You see what I'm saying? But you can't even tell a big girl that she too goddamn big. You gotta pretend like you like that. Otherwise, you're afraid of getting chastised. I don't want the angry hordes to be mad at me. You see what I'm saying? But it's another conversation we could have. But shout out to Volcanus. He said you just dropped Forbidden Knowledge. Yeah, man. This one right here is gonna get banned, I'm sure. Armani Bliss said, paying my tuition. Thank you so much. Fireman, $5. Thank you. Who else? I appreciate you guys. John W., thank you too. Armani Bliss, man, welcome back. Man, what are your thoughts on this conversation?
This is good stuff. Like I said, I love your show. I have a question though. Damn, how did I for lost it like that fast? Oh yeah. Can you go back? I mean, I almost misheard you, or I kind of understand one part. The last caller you were talking to, he said like, oh, he said control everything but own nothing.
That was a quote from J.W. Rockefeller. See, if you control everything and you own nothing, then nobody can sue you and take anything from you.
Okay, how can you apply that, or is this, or that's just like
it has to do with trust accounts and corporations and those sort of things. You should probably do a private consultation. Let me know what you got going on, and then I can tell you specifically what you need to do. But whole life insurance policies, trust accounts. It's a lot of different things. You can do offshore accounts. Just hit me up, sperlingdennis@gmail.com, man. I do a one-on-one consultation, and you'll learn a lot. It might be one of those conversations that changes the direction of your life. And I don't mind doing it. Just send me an email. Let me know what you want, and we'll schedule you. But for the most part, fellas, that's pretty much it for tonight. Tomorrow we'll be back again with part 3 of protecting your foreign woman from American culture. And what we did tonight is we protected her from herself. Those notions that she'll get in her mind, she realized, well, I ain't gonna get nothing if I leave this. But I think the whole point that I was telling you guys about that soprano analogy was that the woman was about to leave her husband, and she realized, I don't have any lawyers to defend me or try to go after my husband, Tony Soprano, who was a gangster. And all of his money ain't where it's supposed to be. We can't find it. So if I leave, I'm gonna be broke. He put her ass on an allowance. She was getting $1,200 a month. Yes, she got the house, but the house was going in disrepair. She was over there by herself. The son didn't want to live with her. It was getting bad, you know. And that's another thing. When you get in a divorce, man, you don't cape these women. They want a divorce. That's war. Okay, well, you want a divorce. Here's your little allowance, and here's what I'm supposed to give you. You're not getting a dime, or you keep them broke. You let them see this is what you're going to deal with after we get it. You see what I'm saying? You keep it limited, period, until that divorce is over. You try to get everything you possibly can. That's what I mean. You guys are soft. Now, INIR2 said, we're not soft, we're easygoing. No, bro, you're soft. That's what these women are saying about you in these other countries. You're soft, you need love, you have been mistreated your whole life. Y'all don't even know what good treatment is. That's what they're saying. And that's why when you get off the plane, they're running at you. That's why they got the nerve to say, well, I want to go live in your country, because they know, like, they're the best women you ever had. And as I said before in that one video, what does it say about men who typically would just make love to the first thing available, right? You make love to the ugly secretary or the ugly girl in the club just because they're convenient. You guys would rather pay for plane tickets, pay for hotel tickets, take off work, take planes, hours and hours on time, time out of your day to go overseas to make love to women, that foreign women. What does that say? That reflects more on the women that you're leaving who are giving it away for free. You see what I'm saying? As opposed to you. Because if you're willing to pay another woman and go through all this inconvenience, pay her for what she's offering, as opposed to get this over here for free, what does that say? If we got two restaurants and one of them is giving their food away free and their line is empty, right? And you got another restaurant, their line is, they charge it out the wazoo, and that line is around the street. What does that tell you about the line of the food, the line of the restaurant where nobody's going and they giving it away for free?
Yeah, that food is suspect.
That food is nasty. That food is nasty and poor quality, and we don't want it. That's what it's telling. So just think about that. That's the way you got to see things. But that's a whole nother subject. Again, what you want to do, fellas, you want to protect your woman from American culture. Why go through all that problem, going over there, meeting a woman, bringing her over here, or meeting a woman who's from another culture, who just got here a couple of years ago? Maybe she's from Africa, maybe she's from Asia, South America, Central America. You met her at the club. She was nice. She's a nice woman. She's cooking and she's cleaning because she's fresh out of her own culture. And what you do, you take her and ruin her by taking around your raggedy ass relatives who infuse that toxic, lovely lady culture in her. You just messed up. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you guys to do, man, follow this itinerary. You can come up with your own. It's illustrative. It's not exclusive, which means you can add on to it depending on your situation. But again, you guys who want to have a private consultation with me, maybe I can just help you with your life. We can talk about some life things, help you get on the right page financially. Whatever it is, I'm here for you guys. SperlingDennis@gmail.com. And also buy my books at buy the books, Rules to Live By, How to Maintain Peace of Mind and Happiness in a Conflicted World. You can get them on Amazon. And then also, man, just make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. That's what I need to happen. And if you're not getting the notifications, hit it twice, because I noticed that people are saying they're not getting notifications. So make sure you hit those notifications. But anyway, this is Uncle D, and as I always said this time, man, ain't really nothing else to say other than I'm out.